أهلا بيكم حلقة جديدة من فويس نوت. النهاردة هنتكلم عن nothing. النهاردة الحلقة هتبقى بالإنجلش، فاللي هيتابعونا السبتايتلز هيبقى موجود تحت بالإنجليزي وبالعربي. حاول قدر الإمكان إنك تتابع الحلقة دي، لأن القصص اللي وراها قصص مثيرة، والقصص اللي وراها قصص كتير ملهمة. والنهاردة هنتكلم عن nothing. Today we're gonna speak about nothing. I have been watching the brand for the last couple of years, and the founder himself is a really successful story. I called him a business legend. This guy who invented nothing. He's really invented nothing. From nothing to a big brand. Today, I have one of the most key persons behind the brand into the Middle East and Africa. Today, I have Rيtشي Gupta, the regional director for Middle East and Africa for nothing. How are you today?
Good, very well, thank you. And thanks for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Rيtشي, I've noticed you on LinkedIn posting a lot about nothing, and I could see and I could feel that there is a passion behind the technology. Before we move forward to the brand itself, I just want to learn more about your background, education, and where you're coming from.
So I hail from a small city called Muradabad in UP. It's part of North India, very close to Delhi, around 150, 160 kilometers far. And when I grew up, it was a perfect time to get excited about gadgets. So we were excited about every gadget which was coming up, So we have seen actually technically all evaluation of a video screen.
Yeah, we are a lucky generation, yes.
So,
Yeah.
and our first interaction probably was with technology was a radio. That's how we started, and probably a black and white TV, right?
Yeah.
That's how all it started.
Early 80s.
Yes. And I was very, very curious about electronics. So I used to open all electronics at my home. Yeah.
Okay.
For that, I used to get a lot of heat from my parents. Sure, when you open it, then you go close it, right? You don't know how to close it. But when I was growing up, and then feature phones started coming in, and I got my first phone, and I still remember there was a network called Usha phone.
Okay.
At one of time. And I got a phone which is called Siemens C25 that one of time. And with the SIM card, we have to literally go to the rooftop.
Okay.
Signal. And that was a time when there was outgoing call and incoming call. Both were...
I had the same story with a brand called Sanyo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I know Sanyo, yeah.
Yeah, the coverage that time were very limited, only 5 kilometers around. And the time that it has been, upgraded, it was covering around 20, 30 kilometers around. So, yeah.
But there was fun element,
Yeah.
So you used to find people who got the cell phone.
Mm.
And then you set up the time that I will go on rooftop this time. You come at this time.
Have you fixed the antenna by yourself?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So, there was Doordarshan. It's a national television in India. And everything was with the antenna. And then, there are two people engaged. One is on the...
One up, one down, yes.
Good, bad.
And shouting, yeah, you got the signal?
Absolutely. And that was... So, and then because my inclination towards, a lot of electronics, though I didn't do any engineering, right? So I was a commerce graduate. I was doing BCom. But somehow I started, buying phones and then selling phones.
Oh, business.
Yeah, kind of. For a pocket money or something like this.
Okay.
The far market in Delhi, which used to be the mobile phone or electronics hub at that point of time. Something like Palestine Street in Saudi Arabia and Jeddah. So we used to go there. Every time I used to buy a phone and then come back. And then in my college, students, neighborhood, people look at, how much you bought it? What you bought it? And then I used to sell it with 300, 400, 500 rupees kind of a profit.
Okay.
And then it started problems because when you buy second-hand phone, something happens. We start opening phones, repairing batteries, putting new battery, then display. There 3-4 parts on phone at that point of time, right? And then I started, assembling desktops from there.
Oh,
and
yes.
selling tech.
I do have the same journey.
Yeah. So you take SMPS, you take
Yes.
you take the CD drive that time,
Yeah.
copy,
And the floppy drive, yes.
and it was fun, yeah, to install on desktop. And there was a market called Supermarket there. It was a big IT market in Moradabad, and I used to go there.
We do remember the mobile rack where you can fix the hard drive and go collect
Yeah.
the movies. And yes, yeah.
And then you also do something else as well. So you take earlier there's a bulb, right?
Yeah.
This red color bulb used to be it's a night bulb or bedroom bulb, right? Used to kind of fix that bulb as well inside. Additionally,
Yes, yes,
and,
yes. To connect either a slave or a master. Yeah. Okay.
so it was good fun. And then eventually I landed in electronics industry and started working with a company, Philips, where I was selling CTVs and DVD players that point of time. And since then, journey is kind of unstoppable. I immersed in the industry with the evolution. The greatest, interaction with technology was when I moved to Mumbai with Reliance, and I was looking after the merchandising, buying, and category management for Apple products. And that was my first interaction in terms of mobile as a portfolio of my,
Okay.
yeah. And then since then, it's all tech, only tech. When I came here, I joined Raichi in 2011, and I joined them as a category manager, and then took up the business of IT, telecom, gaming, and photography, and so on. And from there, I moved to Huawei.
Okay.
And then Huawei, I wore different hats. I was retail director for Middle East in GCC. Primary market was UAE and GCC, and was trying to fix everything in terms of retail for Huawei. And meantime, I also got an opportunity to be the vice president for India business. So I was like 2 weeks here, 2 weeks in India, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks.
Yeah, India is a very huge market.
Yeah, and we launched the brand from scratch in India. So, and that was a great experience working in India with, a very, very different dynamics of business, where strong online, then a strong IR, then a strong, so everything is strong, right? In that market, the market is really huge, right? And then I was following since 2011, nothing. So being in industry, you always look at innovation, right? And you always look at what others are doing. So all of the brands used to look up to understand what competition is doing. But there was no other brand which inspired me as a professional. So 2011, the first product came in a year, which was the TWS, right? And the transparency came in. It was very different design. And then people started talking about it. Only limited units came to market. And then my inclination towards nothing increased more. And there was news already coming in that Carl left, OnePlus, because he was co-founder of OnePlus, and he left and he started this journey. So, and then I looked at the product and I looked at, wow, that's a great product. And the product was not available in Middle East. But suddenly I looked at that there's a huge demand, people are aware about nothing, and then nothing here came to online space, and then people started buying. Then the first phone came in 2022. And then I said, let's jump on this. And this is something which I really want to do. So from a very big shape, kind of Huawei, and then kind of startup. So I approached nothing, and then had good discussion with them in terms of launching Middle East. And then, Middle East was not kind of a very
In the plan.
in the plan, kind of, so because India was a huge market. It's a European brand. Europe is a huge market too, so first.
And I believe that time they were having a limitation into the total number of the units sold.
Absolutely.
Right.
So it was no plan. So finally I convinced, and then the people convinced with the plan. The leadership team convinced with the plan, and then we did a first launch. And we launched Raichi exclusively in 2023, phone 1. And since then, no looking back. The brand journey is really, really encouraging in Middle East. And from UAE, we took it to Saudi Arabia, then Kuwait, then Qatar, then Oman, then Bahrain, then Jordan, and then few other export markets as well, where we started working in Middle East. So journey is very, very satisfying since then, and very happy to, getting into something which was kind of very, very inspiring. And always feel very, very confident when I talk about, nothing as a brand, because uh, this is what I feel, right? This is the inclination. This is a true feeling and affinity to the brand. So that's why always you see that I'm very, very confident talking about wearing nothing.
Yes, that's why now there is a lot of things jumping into my mind. The equation of having a regional director for such a region, where you're coming from a digital background, technology background, a passion towards electronics and technology, mixed experience from the scratch, being in a lucky generation, and you have experienced all of this, and you bring something, and you just want to use, you hunted nothing to be into the region, because as far as I have seen nothing doing nowadays into the global market, and the revenues has been generated into the Middle East, you have done a great story. A great, successful story, very inspiring. It's a personal question. I just want to learn. The time you have chosen nothing as a journey of your career path, didn't you scared of jumping into a startup and you could never perform well comparing to the other big brands physically there in the market?
So frankly speaking, it's a big risk, right?
Yeah, it
You
is.
are a professional and then salary is your first income. It is always a very big risk, right? To when you join a startup from a very, very big established ship, right? But I think I didn't think about any fear and all, because I was so confident when I looked at phone one. I went to Davza, his own, all the traders are there, right? And I called few guys, hey, come on, do you have a nothing phone? And then I found one of the guy that he said, yes, I'm trading nothing phone. I imported few phones from India. I said, I want to see. And he said, oh, sir, please come to office. And I went, I saw the product. I said, I can do it. There was
You fall in love.
second thought, not be able to do it. Frankly speaking,
Okay.
even there was no organization. So I canceled my visa. It was on my own visa. It takes time, when you establish an organization and all this stuff. And
From scratch.
this case from scratch. So, and after a year I joined, he had our own office. So I was running, almost every day doing everything because there was no team. I joined alone. The first team member joined almost around 5-6 months. I joined, and then after that, first team member joined. Then another 2 members joined almost around 9 months after that. So that's the kind of a journey. So I ran the show, launched exclusively, Saudi as well, and UAE as well, all together, Kuwait as well alone.
The time you have your chair and your desk inside the office, I believe it was a great moment. That time, how many units you planned to sell at the first year?
So first year I planned to sell 100,000 units.
And how many you sold?
Almost all of them.
Okay. It's a big number.
Yeah, that was the plan. Yeah. And the phone too came in with making a mark in a flagship segment. And I would say that we were quite successful in terms of, positioning ourselves as a premium brand, as a tech come lifestyle fun brand. And we were quite successful with phone to take the story to the next level to consumers.
So what are the main features of Nothing Phone 3A Pro, the one that you've launched recently?
So Nothing Phone 3A series is an upgrade from Nothing Phone 2A. Last year we launched our first mid-range phone. It's called Nothing Phone 2A. And this phone changed the norms of a mid-range phone in the industry. So it changed the entire narrative that how a mid-range phone look like, the design of a mid-range phone, the functionality of a mid-range phone, performance of a mid-range phone. And it became a huge success. And that helped us to become one of the fastest growing smartphone brand in 2024. So now we got a lot of feedback as well. So we are a very strong brand in terms of community, and we work with the community, and it's a pure two-way communication where we speak to community speak to us, we take the feedback, we implement the feedback, we go back to community come back to us, right? And very, very engaging community. So we got few, feedback from community. So the first feedback was in terms of camera. So we had earlier 3 camera system, 2 in back and 1 is front selfie camera. And we did a huge upgrade with camera at this time. So if you talk about phone 3A Pro, we have 4 camera setup, 3 cameras at the back and 1 camera at the front. And in 3 cameras, this first periscope lens in the camera. So in 3 camera setup, you have 50 megapixel periscope camera, and you have 50 megapixel main camera, and then you have 8 megapixel, which is ultra wide camera, which can capture up to 180 angle. The periscope camera with 60x ultra zoom. That's the camera, and I think a lot of media played with camera. Overwhelming response with camera shooting, and then picture quality and video quality. And when it comes to the selfie camera, it's a 50 megapixel selfie camera which can record 4K videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
The front one.
The front one. Yeah. So for people to create content with selfies and video recording and all those stuff, it's a perfect camera. Yeah.
You have mentioned earlier that you listen to your community. I'm coming from a tech background, and I could see this is a very big sentence you have stated. A brand listen to their community, and at the end they provide what they're looking for.
Yeah.
I believe it's a key point and major thing behind your success into the market. I know some brands, they know exactly what are the community looking for and what are the loyal community looking for, and they tell out their heads. Because sometimes the brands, I could say they are stubborn, listening to their communities. So I believe it's a very valid point, a great point, that you really communicate directly with your community, because the time I've been into the last event launch, regardless that it was in Ramadan, and I never expected that crowd, I have seen that you know most of your clients, distributors, clients, local clients, every single member in your community, and you know them by name. You have a direct connection with them. And even the time I left the event and I was waiting for my car outside, I found 2 of your community, everybody bidding for buying the first launched phone for nothing into the Middle East. And the numbers, I would not disclose the numbers because it's a kind of confidential thing, but it's really much for a phone. But because the client himself became not only a community member, but he became a part of the brand. He's bidding a big number with somebody else for buying the first nothing mobile launched into the Middle East. Can you imagine? So I believe it's a part of your successful story, and hands up for this, heads up for this. You have done a great job. So back again to the nothing mobiles. Not only the cameras that you have worked at, I believe the interface itself and the smoothness of the touch screen is really incredible for such a new mobile competing with sharks into the market. So how could you differentiate yourself as a brand now with the big sharks into the market?
So I think let me finish the 3A Pro first,
Okay.
and then I'll come on this. So it's not only about camera. So camera is one of the things which we upgraded because we heard the community. The first and foremost thing is it's a super elevated design versus 2A. So if you see the design and then if you see 2A, it's completely
different. Yes.
The second feedback which we got is that community wanted a glass back.
Yeah. It looks a bit sexy. Yes.
All those stuff. Community wanted more safety, security to the device, more durability. We made from IP54 to IP64. So it's a 360 degree where we listen to our community. Same thing with as you talk about interface. So it is with Nothing OS 3.0, right? So with 3.0 also we launched our gallery. So community was asking that even photo gallery, right? And it's much faster, the photo gallery when we launched. So it's so cool, the the photo gallery which we launched. So these are all 2A. By the way, we have a community and community votes and choose its board of observer.
Okay.
So that person, the board of observer becomes the voice of the community.
Okay.
We give quarterly update to the community.
Okay.
And it's available. We are very transparent. So we are not only transparent in terms of device, bringing the transparency, we are transparent with our consumers, with our community members. It's a unique organization, it's a unique company, unique brand, which even shares its failures with consumers.
Okay.
So we shared our failure. We did a product which was power bank, and we could not commercialize it. We could not launch it commercially because at the last stage there was a problem in the product. But we shared everything with our consumers that we did not launch this. We spent a lot of time and money on this in R&D, and you will not find any brand sharing its failure that I failed, right? So everyone boasts about that. I have this, I did this, I achieved this. But nobody will tell you that I failed in this.
Okay.
That's what the transparency is all about. So you have transparency across organization. It's in culture. And that you see in devices as well since beginning with Nothing. And by the way, a lot of other brands, they copied the transparency in design.
Yeah.
A lot of not copied, they followed whatever, So they started following the transparency. So, and then coming back now on, so from design, then now you have, Nothing OS, then you have camera, then you have, IP rating. So it's a huge elevated design and huge upgrade from 2A series to 3A series. Yeah. And even 3A as a product has a telephoto lens.
Yeah, the 3A is completely great phone. Yeah, and the Pro is coming with completely advanced features, but the 3A is
and it's so I'm not saying that I'm working in Nothing, but as a consumer at that particular price, because we're trying to bring all young generation, Gen Zs and creative people early to Nothing.
Yes, that was my next question. Why Nothing being known as a Generation Z phone?
So technically, if you look at the vision itself is to make tech fun again, right? Yeah. And so when you target the young generation, right, they are ready to embrace the new technology, new innovation. They last 10 years, if you look at a decade, is full of boring devices, same stuff coming in. There's an excitement before the device launches, right? And then after device launches, the excitement is gone, right? So we thought of bringing fun again to so right, and that's where Carl coming from, that let's make tech fun and make cool tech, and the idea an immersive tech which is fun to be, and you are excited about technology again and all those. Yeah. So that's why if you look at Gen Z and then young audience, they set the narrative, right? They are ready to embrace the new product. They're open to change, right? And that becomes a very, very important aspect of our story. And that's why we work with young generation who understand tech and ready to take up the new product, open to innovation. That's the thing. Yeah.
For the UE market, I believe there is a lot of fans and I have seen Saudi market, there is a lot of fans. Where are the major successful market shares into the Middle East? Nothing has.
So we are primarily in GCC market, and
Okay.
for GCC as well, we have Saudi and UAE as a key market, and in GCC, where we focus, we work with communities, we have kind of established presence now. We're working hand in hand with partners, with consumers, with our community members. So. And then we are trying to spread ourselves with more focus in rest of GCC countries like Qatar, Kuwait, with more partnerships coming in, more retail partnerships coming in, and more engagements coming in. So this is what we are working on. But primarily, yes, UAE and Saudi is a key market, core market for us in Middle East. And then, yes, of course, GCC is there to spread ourselves.
Back again to the trend, AI. What does AI assistant doing with nothing phones?
So I think AI became a buzzword.
Everything is AI, and everything is labeled now AI.
Yeah, and I think in tech this happens, right? So we create a buzzword, buzzword comes to on, and it's hyped, and then it fades and something like that. But yeah, AI hype is going on and on and on because it's coming across everywhere, right? It's part of our life now. We are living in an AI, generation. The first thing which we did in AI is that we integrated all our TWS with ChatGPT.
Okay.
That was
It's a built-in integration.
yes.
Okay.
So yeah, so you can use our TWS.
It costs a lot, I believe, in the time of the customization, because you're having your dedicated APKs, or do you have any dedicated solutions?
Very good question. So we are a very small company with 600 employees, but almost 65% employees are working in R&D. You will be surprised to hear that. We have our own dedicated software R&D center in Taiwan. We design our own product. We design our own software.
Okay.
That's why you see the differentiation in design, differentiation in experience. So that's the primary reason of this innovation which we brought in.
So the formula now:
Yeah.
passion, success, strong R&D,
Yeah.
transparency with your community, and you listen well, and you acknowledge failure, and you are happy with success.
Absolutely. Yeah. So coming back to AI, which is a buzzword. So though everyone is coming up with different AI solutions and different AI things, and then, but what you wanted to do is you wanted to give something more usable to our consumers. And that's why we brought in Essential Space.
Okay.
So Essential Space, AI is one of the ingredient of the whole, recipe. But it's more useful, make you more smart, declutter your life. It becomes a secondary memory. And it enables you to do much more in time. So it is not just a buzzword of bringing AI because we have to bring AI because everyone is talking about AI. We created something which is more useful, which will really help user, and user will remain in control.
Okay.
This is something which is very important. With all or nothing OS, if you look at with the the seamless experience and then the speed of the software. Look at 90mm mobiles also. They talk about this book about Nothing OS is one of the best OS experience in India. So this whole thing is not only that you have to bring AI because everyone is talking about AI. It's all about the utility, usability of AI. How you make your product more intelligent, which would help user. Right, enable user to do more with right, in the devices. Same thing with glyph interface, what you worked on, and I still love the feature that when you book a Uber and then the light turns on. I still look at the power meter when I charge my phone, and especially just personally when I am with my kids, the timer I put in, the glyph light, and they're very happy looking at it.
Okay.
This light is
it looks very catchy. Yeah.
yeah. So Essential Space is a great feature. Personally, I'm using it, and I'm using it for everything now. So, either my membership cards, my credit cards. If you don't understand a particular thing, you just take a screenshot and then send it to Essential Space, and then it decodes everything for you. There are a lot of other features which are coming in. 5 more features we are bringing in camera capture. We are bringing in a smart collection. We are bringing in. So then a lot of more features which are coming around this Essential Space.
So as much as you can, you are trying to make sure of a great customer experience. And this is one of the, again, main features and factors and a strength point that nothing provides. I believe we are living now in an era of innovation and new ideas. And as you mentioned before, you have a very strong team back office doing the R&D. Competition again is too hard, too harsh. How could you step forward to a greatest innovative solutions for the upcoming 2-3 years?
See, primarily there are two things, right? To differentiate. When we differentiate the product for all the boys on the first thing is design itself, the hardware, which stands out. So
Okay, but I just want to mention something here with regards to the designs. People are duplicating your designs. Aren't you afraid of?
so they will only copy what is launched.
Okay.
Yeah. So they become follower.
See the confidence. See the confidence.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
when you innovate to innovate, right, and that innovation goes with you, right, and any else copies, it becomes a copy. It becomes a follower.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I mean, original. So first thing is hardware design, which is completely differentiated, and we differentiate on design. Each aspect of the device is completely differentiated from. You keep all the devices, upside down or even downside up. We look at the home screen of our phone and then other phones. We look at the back side of our phone and other phones. It's completely differentiated. And even if you remove the brand name from the back, everyone will recognize this is nothing phone. Other phones may be difficult to recognize which brand to, right? But it's very easy to recognize. So design is first thing, hardware is first thing where we are differentiating. The second thing is OS. And technically, if you look at devices, hardware and software, right? These are the things. So we are differentiating on OS. Our OS is very, very fast. It's free from a lot of unnecessary bloatware to make it free. And you always feel when you use our product in terms of US and in terms of user experience, it's so fast that you feel you are in control rather than devices in your control, devices controlling you. So you always remain in control of your device. This is very, very important, by the way, to have a software which help you to remain in control rather than the software is
Controls you, yes.
So this is something which is very important. So we differentiate in both the aspects. We differentiate inside out, outside in both.
Nothing has a very strong team in the Middle East and back office R&D. And behind all of this success is the founder, Carl P. I'm following him on YouTube. He's really a smart guy. And I do remember one of the community, he told me literally he waited for him the time he came to Dubai for a couple of hours just to go and say hi and shake hands. And he told him, I never found such a humble person and a business leader like him before. I'm really sure that you are working with him closely. I just want to learn from your side. What are the main reasons behind all of this success on this person?
So I think if you notice Carl, he's a true visionary, right? And the most important thing is he understands consumer intake. I didn't find anyone with so much of clarity of thoughts in terms of what consumers looking for, how to make tech cool, how to differentiate from other brands.
Yes, we are a tech guys. We are either tech or
Absolutely.
And by the way, one of the most important factors I have learned recently that you need to have a very high emotional intelligence and social intelligence in terms of being successful rather than being a very tech geek person.
Absolutely. Yeah. So every business to understand consumers, understand people, understand human, right? Emotional intelligence is very, very important, right? To understand. Otherwise, you will not understand, right? So I think that makes us differentiated from all tech, robots and us. That's the difference, right? The emotions and so I work with Carl, right? And then I met Carl, and then we have common forums and we have meetings and all this stuff. And see, he inspired me from OnePlus days, right? And though I was not in India, I was in Dubai. I was following the journey of OnePlus, how OnePlus grew in India under when he founded OnePlus, and then globally, and the idea behind the brand, the product, So he has that clarity when nothing came up, and most of the time it happens that someone innovated something and then moved and changed the ship, right? And then the innovation doesn't transform or become bigger or differentiated. But in this case, when he moved, the innovation became completely it's huge now. It's very, very different what he did, and with a very, very small team and very small period of time. It's only 4 years. The company started in December 2020, and where we're sitting now with $1 billion revenues, right? And with 7 global offices. It's a huge thing to do. It's not easy. And before anything else, I would like to give him a big shout out, that courage. So even if you think today that I have to launch a smartphone brand or a tech brand, you will only think about the big boys and say, come on, this is not going to happen, right? And then, and I think it's a very courageous move what he did. And then, taking up head on with all these big players is a very big thing, creating its own space. So, yeah. And what I love about him is the clarity of, his vision and how to navigate that vision is. And we are still thinking about 6 months or this year, and that he's already thinking about 2030. He's already thinking about 2035. So this is the difference, right? Where it come from. Yeah.
I'm really happy that you've been here with us today at Voice Note Podcast. And I don't want to leave and end without you giving a message to the audience. Whomever not yet dealt with nothing, and what else can you provide into the future? So 2 messages to your new customers. Don't look at me, look at the camera, speak to them. Camera is yours.
Hello, everyone. So my message to all of you is, I don't want you to, do a simple thing in terms of looking at online and then read reviews. Only I want that you guys go to the store, experience nothing, experience the device, use the device, and share your experience. How you feel about it, what do you feel about it. You can compare with your own device right now which you are using and the device which we have on the shelf now. That's the message. And with 3A, 3A Pro High, we'll keep surprising, we'll keep bringing new devices this year.
Thank you so much. This episode being sponsored by Nothing 3A Pro and 3A. If you never been to Nothing stores where you can find the mobile on the shelf and you can try it, please contact me. I will try to, as much as I can, to guide you even to go together to the stores, look over the thing. I want your transparency in your opinion, because we have a brand who listen to the community. We have a brand who listen to their clients, and no more stubbornness. Thank you so much. Voice note. Salam.